This guide will show you how to beat Metal Gear Solid 2 on extreme difficulty so you can achieve the big boss rating. We're going to be beating the game in under 3 hours with no alerts, no continues, no rations used, and within all of the other metrics needed to achieve the highest rank. This guide will also feature multiple ways to take on the harder sections found within MGS2, as well as multiple options for the very limited 8 saves that we are allowed. Let's get into it. Now, first things first, we want to go into the options menu before we even start attempting our run on extreme and change one very important option. All the way down here, it's called quick change. Change it from its default unequipped to previous, so make sure it's on previous. Once you've done that, you can exit out. That's going to help us a lot to be able to follow this guide accurately the way that I do things. Next up, I would highly recommend that instead of starting a new game and then setting it to extreme and going through this whole option menu, you go through a previously completed save file. So if we look through my save files, I actually have this very easy completed file for dog tags. And if we load that up, since it is a completed tanker plant playthrough, it lets me select the options as if I'm starting a new game. For the reason why you want to do this is because if you start a new game on extreme, you're going to be hit with around 2 to 3 minutes, I believe, of Stillman teaching you how to freeze the bombs during the bomb disposal portion. Whereas if you load from a previously completed save file, you can skip every single one of those cutscenes. So again, I highly recommend you start a new game from a completed previous save file, as confusing as that is. Once you do that though, make sure you select Tanker Plant. It is the only way to get big boss rating. You cannot split this up. You have to do Tanker Plant together. For the sake of this guide, we are going to be playing on Extreme, not European Extreme. These two difficulties are very similar. European Extreme is just slightly more difficult, but you can still achieve Big Boss rating, the highest rating in the game, by playing on Extreme. So we're going to go with that. Trust me, that's enough of a challenge for most people. Once you get to the Select Radar Type menu, make sure you have it on Radar Off. We are not allowed to use Radar Type 1 or 2 to get Big Boss rating. So again, Radar Off. And then once you get to the game over condition, make sure you keep it on not game over if discovered. This is an extra cool little challenge, just like European Extreme, but it is not needed for big boss rating. So again, extreme rating is, or extreme difficulty is enough of a challenge, trust me. So just keep it on not game over if discovered, and then you are free to start your playthrough. Now, it should go without saying, but you absolutely need to skip every single codec call and cutscene that you possibly can. But once you've gotten a hold of Snake, make him go over to the left side over here. You're going to have one enemy in front of you. All you're going to do is just sneak behind him. You don't need to interact with him at all. Open the door using the action button. You can tap it to open it faster. And then once you're in the next room, listen for the door to close. Wait half a second, and then go. Otherwise, this guy's going to see you and cause an alert. Freeze. Hold him up once you're near him, and then you can just run past him. He's going to radio in, but we're going to be long gone before that does anything. So don't worry about it. This next room, we're going to have 2 guards. You're going to tranquilize them both. You're going to have plenty of time to do this. Just skip this little cutscene, loop around, take out this first guy. Now the second guy, very easy. You have plenty of time to do it, so don't panic. Make your way up the staircase to this right side room. First thing you want to do in here is roll, so you trigger this mini cutscene. Skip that, and then just walk behind this dude. You don't need to do anything to him. Similarly to the first guy we didn't interact with, just run behind him. You want to skip this cutscene immediately because this camera is on a timer. Roll as soon as Snake's head hits that little railing on the wall, and then run up these stairs. Same thing here. You're going to go into this first door, hit a little mini cutscene, and then you're going to loop around both tables. You're going to roll into this guy, and then roll off of his body. It's going to cause the music to change, but no alert. Don't worry about it. Just go up these staircases. And now Olga has 2 different main methods of taking her out that speedrunners call Olga left or right. We're not going to be doing either. What we're going to do is we're just going to position ourselves in a manner where she can't really do anything to us. First thing you want to do, though, is pick up this ammo pouch below you and then position yourself here in between these 2 crates. If you get this little cutscene, you did it right. She's wondering where you are. Try to get this first shot off on her, and then she's going to run away and start her little cutscene that you can't skip. And once this cutscene ends, wait for her to run back to where we are positioned here, and then you're just going to shoot her leg over and over. That's literally the entire fight. Wait for her to reset. She might run to the right and then come back. Once she does, just shoot her in the leg. Now, it's very important not to miss any of these shots, or else she's going to start lobbing grenades at you, and then you have to dodge those and reposition yourself. It's just not a good time. So just let her do her little thing, run to the left, then run back. Or sorry, run to the right, then run back to our position here. Once you get her halfway, she's going to trigger another cutscene that you can't skip. But it doesn't matter. She's going to come back to her same spot. Shoot her in the leg, let her recover, let her do her little thing where she runs to the right, then runs back. Shoot her again. And you're going to do this to end the fight. Now, something that I like to do, you don't have to do this technically, but I like to do it to make sure we have plenty of ammo for the rest of the tanker chapter, is once she gets really close, like one shot to being taken out. So I think after this next shot, I do it. So I shoot her one more time. She's gonna get tranquilized to her next shot, right? So I don't shoot her here. I pick up this M9 ammo for our tranquilizer. And then this does waste a little bit of time, but it's not a huge deal. Just try not to miss a million times like I am doing here. And then just get the last shot off on her, and you've taken Olga out. Now that is massive. A huge congratulations for doing that. Olga is the very first, I'd say, big obstacle in getting to the, you know, the rest of the big boss run and also through the tanker. Once you've taken her out, though, again, congratulations. We're going to go back in the door that we came out of, in here. And then in this next room, I like to pick up the USP ammo, so you've got a new weapon now, and we're going to equip it right now. And that quick change option that we changed allows us to actually have 2 weapons equipped, as you can see. Not at the same time, obviously, but we have 2 weapon slots now. This guy's going to see you, but it doesn't matter. Run down the stairs, and you're absolutely fine. Down here, you're going to have 1 enemy and a camera. Just headshot him with the tranquilizer, and then take out the camera to be super safe. And then come down these stairs here. This is going to be the room where we ran behind that guy. We didn't interact with him. The best way to do this is to put Snake up against the wall. You're going to see a shadow by Snake's knees. As soon as that shadow disappears, you can roll into this guy, hold him up and roll into him, whatever you want to do. I wouldn't really waste a tranquilizer round, but it's up to you. You should still have plenty. Once you're here, you do have to get a pretty accurate headshot on this guy and then shoot the glass anywhere near where I shot it there. That's going to cause his friend to walk over and investigate. You can then hold him up or just run behind him. You don't really even need to hold him up. Then climb over these stairs, roll down them, and then you can equip your camera. Just have it ready for the holds area. Now make sure it's your camera, not your digital camera. Once you're here, roll, trigger this little cutscene. You're going to have a guy right in front as soon as you walk in. Just hold him up and tranquilize him. We're going to be doing that to pretty much every single guy in the engine room here, every single enemy. Hold them up, tranquilize them, make your way back to this staircase here. And we're going to have 1 more guard at the end of this staircase down here. Same thing, hold him up, tranquilize him, just to make it super easy on yourself. Then make your way over to this bottom section here. We're going to go up the stairs, but not up all the way. Just enough to where we can see this guard on our right. Turn around. Once he does, go all the way up the stairs, tranquilize him, and then change your view up to the top left. Stand on your tiptoes by pressing and holding L2 and R2 while you have your weapon aimed. You can actually make Snake stand up on his tiptoes. Take that guy out up there, and then we are good to go. You can pick up that ammo there. There's also ammo in the next room that we're going, so it's up to you which ammo you prefer to pick up. Roll north here to trigger this cutscene, and then turn around. There's going to be 1 guard that comes out of this room to the right that was previously locked. Get your M9 ready to tranquilize him. Try to get him before he radios in. And then you're going to use the action button to climb on top to where this ammo box is. And then again, stand on your tiptoes by holding L2 and R2 to take out that Semtex sensor unit. There's 2 more, 1 on the right and then 1 on the left. Now this one is very dangerous. Make sure you're not aiming to the Semtex itself. Once those 3 are down, you can open this door and head on to the next section. This section isn't too difficult at all, especially with the way that I'm going to show you how to do it. You're going to have 1 guard appear seemingly out of nowhere in front of you. As soon as you can see him, make sure you stop and headshot him, because if you walk any closer to him, he's going to be able to see you. He has night vision goggles as well, so just headshot him as soon as he comes into vision for you. You're then going to have a guard that patrols with his music on, with headphones on. You're going to hear him. Just stay around here where I am. Let him patrol all the way up and then stop. And then you can run behind him and now count these doorways. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now the 6th one is going to have a sleeping guard, but sometimes he wakes up when you try to run by. So it's better to just count 5, and then on the 6th one, make sure you hold him up and headshot him just to make absolute certainty that you do not get caught there. There's some extra M9 ammo if you need it behind these 2 pipes. Just shimmy up against the wall. And then we're going to start the guard rush section. Now this section, there's not really much I can teach you here or help you with. It's literally just an aim test for your headshots or just aiming in general. So the biggest piece of advice I can give you here is just practice shooting while also ducking. So holding square and then pressing X when you need to duck. And as you can see, I got hit there, but It's not a huge deal. The other tip I can give you is when you've taken all 3 of the initial guards out, aim kind of toward that little dividing section of the walls, because that's where they respawn. You can get them every single time if you aim up on that little ledge, and I'm sure I'll have a screenshot for you guys to see exactly what I'm talking about. Otherwise, it's just, again, an aim test. A test of if you can duck in and out while you're getting shot at. This guy blind fired me. On Extreme, you're not going to be taking as much damage as on European Extreme, so it's okay if you get hit a few times. Just try not to get hit here, and I actually get hit an extra time here because I mistimed my M9 shot. So as you can see, I keep getting hit, and it's still okay. The other tip I can give you here is if you get to the yellow section of your life bar, you can actually crouch down and refill it a little bit. Like, you're not going to get your whole health bar back, obviously, but you can refill it a tiny bit here. If you've made it this far, congratulations. You are now at the holds area. Our objective here is to climb down these ladders to this section below me here, below where I'm crawling. So whether you want to use the action button to swing over the rail and then drop down, which is a little bit faster, or just climb down the ladders, which is what I'm doing. This is what I would recommend, actually, is just to climb down the ladders as intended. Don't get fancy, because if you die here, you do have to reset the entire Tanker chapter. Once you've made it down both ladders, what I like to do here is go beneath this block here and then roll dive into prone. And then you can mash your weapons to crawl a little bit faster than normal. Make sure you're well clear of that projector or else you'll get caught. And then keep your eyes out for this guy that likes to patrol and tranquilize him. He's the only person that you have to interact with here. These grates on the ground, make sure you do roll over them or walk over them slowly. I prefer to roll because it's easier, or else they make a ton of noise. Now, holds 2 is probably the most difficult portion of the Tanker. You want to first go to the projector, press the action button to change the direction of it, then roll over this grate, and then you're going to hold up 4 guards in a row. So 1, 2, 3, 4. You're going to see this 5th guard over here that you need to hold up. It's kind of tough to do that, I know, but that's the easiest way to do it. That also doesn't waste the most time. Once you're in holds 3, super easy. Just take out your camera, take a picture of Ray from the front left, now from the front center. Make your way over to where this computer is, and take a picture here from the front right. And then you're just going to go straight over to where the Marines logo is. Don't worry about it. There's no one here that can see you. Take a picture of the Marines logo, and then you have every single one of your pictures, and you have now completed the Tanker chapter of Metal Gear Solid 2. All you have to do is upload those pictures and send them to Otacon. So congratulations. That is the Tanker chapter of MGS2 that you've just completed. Now, once you submit these pictures, you're going to get a couple of cutscenes that you can skip. Make sure you skip those. And then when the game prompts you to save, make sure you do not save. Do not save here. So select no, and we're going to start the plant chapter now. Now, the reason we didn't save when the game prompted us to is because I'm trying to save you guys from having to do this every time you reload when you mess up during the initial portions of the plant chapter. So if you mess up and you reload and you saved back when the game told you to, you have to do all of this all over every single time you reload. So it's way better to save later on, and don't worry, I'm going to give you guys 3 different options of where to save. As you can see, though, once you start the plant chapter, just walk over to this door, open it up, skip the codec calls. That little flip that Raiden just did, I'm going to refer to that as an aerial from now on. So when I say aerial, that's what I'm referring to. Skip this codec call. And now here is where I would save if this is your very first experience with playing on Extreme. You don't know what you're doing, really. You're inexperienced. You're brand new to the series, or you're brand new to going for the highest rank in Metal Gear games. This is the save number 1, ultra safe option for the save number 1. If you kind of know what you're doing, maybe wait to save for the next option. So if you don't know what you're doing and you're really scared about what we're about to do, make sure you save here. Otherwise, continue on. You're going to aerial over these 2 guys on the ground and activate the node by pressing the action button. You're going to be prompted to enter your name. If this is a save file like I recommended, an already existing save file, it should already be entered for you. Same thing with this next window. Just go to exit. Do not go back to title screen, or else you have to do the Tanker all over again if you didn't save. After this codec call, the 2 guys on the ground, there's actually 3, are going to start waking up. And I'm going to show you guys how to sneak around them the best way. You're going to be performing kind of an advanced maneuver here called the groin punch. So aerial once down here. We're going to go over to this 3rd guy, and we're going to stand over his leg. Now, the groin punch is done by being pretty much inside the character model of the guards and then aiming the punch down as far as it can go into their groin. To set it up, we want to choke him out, look down, and then punch using the circle button. That's going to knock them out instantly. Now, they're not asleep very long, so we have to run over to that side there, let that guy see us on purpose, and then watch the guy on your left. As soon as he starts walking away, tap on the wall so he's distracted, run over to this guy and see if you see him, and then head over to the lift that we need to go on. Now, I know that seems super complicated, so again, if you're not extremely confident in doing that, make sure you do save where I showed you the ultra safe option. Otherwise, skip these codec calls and cutscenes. And then once you are up here, this is the second optional save point. So if you didn't save down there before we took the lift, before we took out all those guys, this is the second area you could save technically if you're not very confident in your abilities or what we're about to do next. So keep this in mind. If you didn't save down below, you can save here. Now make sure you don't save at both points because we're only allowed 8 saves this entire playthrough. So either, whether you saved or not, let's continue on. All you want to do here is do an aerial into a dive on the ground to go prone. The way you do that is by tapping to do the aerial and then holding X. While you're doing the aerial, you'll stay prone. Either way, make your way into the Strut 8 pump room. Here you just want to aerial twice down the stairs to trigger this cutscene, which we're going to skip. Once you've skipped that, very easy. We just want to go to the left behind this guy and make our way outside to the AB connecting bridge. Now, the AB connecting bridge, you're going to have a cutscene to skip right away into a codec call. Once you skip those, all we're going to do is we're going to aerial once, go to the left here, aerial over these grates on the ground. That's very important because they make noise. And then you're going to aerial into that guy. And now you just want to aerial. That guy's going to spot you, but we're long gone before he can do anything about it. It looks hard, but it's actually very easy. Once you get into the Strut B Transformer room, you're going to have a bunch of cutscenes to skip. We're going to be introduced to Pliskin. Codec call you can skip here. And once you regain control of Raiden, all you want to do is aerial your way up through this door. You're going to get a codec call where you're going to be prompted to save. Now, make sure you do not save here. No matter where you save, do not save here. Trust me. So once you select no for that save, you can open up this locker for some extra ammo. And then make your way to this door where you're going to be greeted with another cutscene. Skip the following codec call. And then there's nothing really to do here except for picking up these chaff grenades. So pick these up. We're going to use them later. Chaff grenades are very busted on Extreme, so make sure you pick those up. Once you're in the Strut C dining hall, nothing to do here either. Just going to aerial twice. And then one more time over to the right to trigger the cutscene. And now this is the portion that you're able to skip if you took my recommendation and you started up from a previously played through save file. You can skip all of this. So if you didn't load from a save file and you instead opted to go for a new game, you would have to sit here and watch every single one of these cutscenes for about 2.5 minutes, I believe it is. It might even be 3 minutes. Either way, this is where I would recommend you save. So if you did not save in the ultra safe spot and you didn't save at the beginning of the plant once the lift took us up, this is where I would save. This is where I like to save every time I play through on Extreme for the big boss rating. So this is my recommended save for most people. Again, make sure you do not save in all 3 of these spots. Pick one. Once you've done that, though, set up your coolant and your SOCOM. Fire 1 round. That's going to make the guy go into kind of an alert status, but he's not going to catch you. And then we can make our way to the BC connecting bridge where we need to shoot this cipher. Now you can shoot it 3 times like I did there, or you can go into first person view and shoot its little head, basically the little camera portion of it to take it down instantly. Once you're in the transformer room, just do a cartwheel over to your right, and this is your first bomb that you need to freeze. You can press the action button to close that locker up that it's hidden behind. You're going to get a codec call after you freeze it, and then just aerial your way down to the door. And out to the AB connecting bridge that we were just at. Once you're here, all you want to do is run forward up against this wall, look out, and as soon as that guy over to the right turns around, we're going to take off. We're going to do 1 aerial. Then we're going to aerial over these grates. And then we're going to aerial into him after you hold him up. This ensures that he doesn't see us. Aerial one more time there, another time there, and then go into the Strut A pump room. Once you're in the pump room, just do 1 aerial, and then continue to the staircase up top here to the Strut A roof, where we came from at the beginning of the plant chapter. This is where the lift took us. We're going to have 1 guy that we need to groin punch after we hold him up. He's down here. So hold him up, walk into him, and then do that same groin punch that we did earlier on. You have plenty of time to do this. And then line yourself up with these little boxes on the ground. That's where the bomb is located. Defuse that, and then you want to make your way back into the Strut A pump room via this area here. Pick up these chaff grenades. That's very important. The more chaff grenades we can get, the better. Once you're in the Strut A pump room, there's going to be 2 ways to do this. I'm going to show you the slower way first. So all we're going to do is hold that guy up, and then we're going to unequip our weapon, and we're going to take him with us over to these lockers that we just passed. Now, you want to make sure, one thing I forgot to mention, when you came down those stairs, make sure you don't aerial too soon. Make sure you're almost down the stairs before you aerial, or the guy over to the left will capture you. Anyway, bring this guy over here and then hold him up again. And then we're going to use that time to open up this locker. And keep choking him out. Now, you don't want to do this too much or you'll kill him. So make sure you just choke him a little with square and then let him go. Do the same thing, choke him a little bit and then let him go. Eventually, he'll pass out. And then we can stuff him in this locker. And what this does, it essentially takes him out of play, so he's not going to wake up. When you put an enemy that's either asleep or stunned in a locker, they pretty much stay in that locker forever, as far as I know. It buys us enough time to do this, the slower method here. And once again, I am going to show you, this is the slower method. I'm going to show you another method after this. That is the quicker method, but it does require a more advanced move. Make sure you crawl under all of those pipes. The bomb is hidden here. Freeze that, and then you want to make your way out the way you came in, under this red pipe here. Then over to the right. And the advanced technique is what I just did there. Essentially, it's called the quick getup. And that's the method that we're going to discuss now. So whether you did this method or the next method I'm going to show you, after you're done, you just make your way out this door. So here's the quick method for the Strut A pump room. This is the pump room, or this is the room we just did. Again, wait until you're almost down the stairs before you aerial. Hold this guy up, and then we're going to groin punch him. Right? Then you're going to go prone here. And watch how this works. So I equip the coolant and then get up super quickly. Now this is needed in order to do a little glitch or bug here where you're able to disarm the bomb actually without crawling all the way back there. I'm actually doing it from the back here. You can only do that when you do this quick get up technique, which does require some practice. So if you know that quick get up technique, that's how I do it. Groin punch the guy and then just continue about your business. Do the quick get up and then defuse the bomb from the back. If not, just do the first method. It's a little bit slower, but it's easier to do and it's safer. Either way, once you make it to the FA connecting bridge, there's not much to do here. I'm going to show you the safest method to do this. You're going to have a cipher and also a guard that you can't see right now. We're going to avoid both by just tucking ourselves in this little corner here and then crouching down so nothing can see us. You're going to wait till this cipher patrols its way over to you, and then you're going to see it dip down into the lower section of the FA bridge. Once it's down there, you're free to aerial your way all the way over to where we need to go, which is Strut F. Now, Strut F is a lot of people's worst strut. They hate this portion of the game. So again, I'm going to show you 2 methods. The first is the easiest, where you're going to use the coolant. You're going to walk over to this guy, unequip your weapon, and then CQC him. You're going to drag him with you over to this room, which is where the M9, our tranquilizer gun, is located. Place him in between the doors so the door stays open for us, and hold him up again. Freeze. Then pick up your M9. You have plenty of time to do this. Once you've got that, just roll into him, or aerial into him, and then reset the room. So you're going to leave Strut F the way we came in. Once you're here, get your coolant equipped and get your M9, your brand new weapon that you just got equipped, and then run back in. That's going to reset the whole room, and now we can proceed. So what you're going to do, you're going to start it the same way, coolant. Then you're going to hold this guy up and headshot him. Super easy to do since he's right in front of you. Then you're going to continue forward, and you're going to tranquilize this guy up here. Once he's down, we're going to use this upper portion here to stalk these guys below us. This guy that's directly below us, he's going to patrol north, up ahead. Just take him out when he stops. When he's out, that's going to cause the other guy that you can't see right now, he's kind of obscured. He's going to go check on his friend here that just got knocked out. When he stops is the best time to tranquilize him, and then you've neutralized everybody in this room. So it's super easy now to use the action button to flip over that rail, equip your coolant spray, and then defuse this bomb, or freeze this bomb, I should say. You're going to get hit with the codec call. Just skip that. And then the last thing you have to do here before continuing on is picking up these stun grenades that are kind of hidden here. We're going to use those at the end of the game. Here, but this is the second way to do it. This is the way that I do it. It starts the same, coolant to the face. Then you're going to groin punch, pick up your M9, and now equip your M9. And you want to shoot this guy. This is very important. You want to shoot this guy because they stay asleep longer than they stay dazed or knocked out. Shoot out that wall there to make this guy come back to make that headshot easier. And then everything else is exactly the same. You're going to shoot that guy there with the tranquilizer. You're going to wait for his friend to patrol and check out what's wrong with him. And then you're going to take out his friend. Once you've done that, make sure you have the coolant equipped. Flip over the railing like we did in the previous method. And then just freeze this bomb. Once again, you're going to get hit with the codec call. Skip that. Don't forget to pick up the stun grenades. You need to do that regardless of what method you chose to pursue here. Make your way up the staircase, and then you are ready for the EF connecting bridge. Now, the EF connecting bridge is going to have a small cutscene. Skip that, and then equip your chaff grenades and throw one. Now, you want to wait here, hidden, for it to go off. Re-equip your coolant spray and your M9. Just wait for it to go off. Once it goes off, you can walk outside here. You're going to get hit with a couple of codec calls. Skip both of them, and then directly after both of these are skipped, you're going to do an aerial into prone, and you're going to pick up that claymore, and then you're going to walk along these grates that make noise to make sure you don't get hit by any other claymores, and then you're going to aerial your way into the Strut E parcel room. Now, make sure you have your lethal weapon and your tranquilizer equipped. This room is going to be kind of difficult. You need to do this very quickly. So there's going to be one guy you need to tranquilize right away. Then walk in, stand on your tiptoes, and take out both of these guys. Switch to your SOCOM, and then take out this first camera in front of you, and then this one over to your left. And then aerial your way over to this third guard that just appeared, or fourth guard, I can't do math. Take him out. Then you can pick up the box and shoot this last camera here. And then position yourself up against this conveyor belt and get your coolant ready, because the bomb that we need to disarm or freeze is coming up next. Now, if that timing is too quick for you, you can pick up the box and shoot that last camera after you defuse the bomb, the moving bomb. Either way, whichever way you do it, don't forget these stun grenades. They're very important. We're going to use those at the end of the game, as mentioned. Once you've done all that, though, congratulations. That is not easy to do, but make your way up the staircase here. Make sure you have your coolant and your tranquilizer equipped, and we're going to take the stairs up to the Strut E Heliport. Here, you're just going to aerial up the stairs, and you're going to hit a cutscene here. Take a deep breath if you need to. Stretch out if you need to. You're going to be halfway up these stairs. You're just going to aerial 1, 2, 3, 4, and on this fifth one, you're going to aerial to prone. Angle your coolant over to the right, and you're going to freeze that bomb there. And then just make your way over to the farthest right you can go here. This is going to avoid every single enemy that's up here. Once you've reached these boxes here, then you can start walking left. And that makes it so, again, you can avoid all of the enemies here. Once you're halfway down the stairs, you can aerial. That skips the rest of the staircase. It's a little bit faster. And then make your way back into the Strut E parcel room. You're going to get hit with a codec call here. Once you've skipped that, you are free to aerial your way down both sets of stairs. And then you're going to walk up to the northern section of the Strut E parcel room and make your way out this door into the DE connecting bridge. Now, there's not much to do here. You're going to aerial 3 times. 1, 2, 3. And then you're going to hold this guy up. And you can shoot him and then aerial into him to knock him out. You can headshot him once you have him held up, whatever you want to do. The Strut D sediment pool has to be done precisely. The first thing you want to do is headshot this guy, and then do not headshot this guy. Shoot him in the leg. You do not want to headshot that guy. We want to wait for him to pass out for a little bit. Same with this guy. Shoot him in the torso, wherever you need to, just not in the head. We want to delay them passing out for as long as we can. You have one more guy, the same thing here. You want to shoot him anywhere but the head. Wait till they all pass out. That first guy over to our right is gone now, is passed out. Next guy's passed out, and then that guy's passed out in front of us. Once they're all out, you are free to continue on. There's some ammo back here for your lethal weapon if you want to pick that up. Flip over the railing, and then catch the railing under you. And then the first bomb we need to freeze is right where this guy's body is. Now, you're going to wake him up if he's in that same position in your game that you're playing through. You're going to wake him up with the coolant spray as you defuse this bomb. No big deal. Just hold him up. Shoot him and then roll into him. Try not to miss like I did here, like an idiot. Just headshot him. It's way easier. I don't know why I didn't do that. So just hold him up and headshot him. Then make your way over to the staircase. There's some extra M9 tranquilizer ammo there. Look up. You're going to have another bomb to freeze right above you. And then walk forward just a little bit while mashing the action button, the triangle button. And you're going to open up the last bomb that's hidden kind of behind this little board here on the floor. Once you defuse that last bomb, you're going to get a codec call. Make sure you skip it. And then once you've skipped it, you're going to make your way to the staircase directly behind you and out of the Strut D sediment pool. So right up this staircase here. Aerial your way this way. Reinforcements are going to get called, but you're going to be long gone before they're able to see you. Now, the CD connecting bridge is going to have a small cutscene with a camera. Make sure you skip it. Walk forward past the camera under it, and then loop back around. And then all you have to do here is tranquilize that one guard that's heading toward you. But he's walking very slowly, and he's very far away, so you have plenty of time to do that. Once you're in the Strut C dining hall, you're going to be in the northern entrance to it, so you want to pick up Sensor B. And once you've done that, you're just going to head south down here. And you're going to make your way to the right side bathroom entrance. And the last bomb we need to defuse is up top here in front of the mirrors. Once you've skipped that codec call, just make your way down here to the southern exit of the dining hall into the BC connecting bridge. You're going to have one cipher here to take out. So again, you can either shoot it 3 times by auto-aim locking onto it, or you can shoot it in its little head, the camera portion of it, up top here. Once that's taken care of, that's really all you have to take care of in the BC connecting bridge. You'll notice that we have a timer, so we have to do these next sections pretty quickly. Don't need to panic, though. These next couple steps are pretty easy. You're going to roll over or aerial over to the right here where you defused that bomb earlier on, and you just want to headshot that guy. Now, you don't want to run up to him and hold him up and do that because you're going to get caught by the other guard. So just do what I did. Just aerial your way into that door, headshot him, and then aerial your way out. AB connecting bridge is our friend who we wait to turn around, but since we have the M9 now, we can just tranquilize him and not wait. We don't have to wait for him to turn around and then jump over these grates. We can just take him out. Make sure you are jumping over the grates, though, because there is another guard here that will be able to hear them. However you choose to tackle that, though, make your way into the Strut A pump room. You're going to do one aerial, and we're going to go up the staircase that we've gone up quite a few times now. And once you're at the Strut A roof, all you want to do is get back on the lift. You don't have to do anything here, interact with anybody. Literally just aerial your way onto the lift. It's going to take you down to where we started the plant section, which is where the bomb that has the timer on it is. Once you've reached the deep sea dock, again, just make your way, kind of backtrack here to where we started the plant chapter. Through this little door here. You can aerial a couple times if you want. Then aerial one more time off this staircase here. And then the bomb should be directly above you here. Make sure you have your coolant equipped. There you go. Just freeze that bomb. Once that's taken care of, we're going to backtrack again. Go back the way we came. Now, after this codec call is skipped, we will begin the Fortune fight. Fortune isn't terribly difficult if you know what you're doing. The very first thing you want to do when the fight starts is equip your box, and then you're going to hang out in the bottom left portion of this map next to this barrel. Don't be too close to the barrel, though. Then you just want to wait till she shoots 6 times. So there's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then run with the box equipped the full length of the map, left and right. There might be some falling debris that you get hit by. That's fine. Just don't get hit by the railgun, obviously. And then when she finally hits her rhythm, you'll see here in a second, you can actually just change directions after 2 shots. So you'll see here in just a second how it works. Let her reload. 2 shots, change direction. 2 shots, change direction. 2 shots, change direction. 2 shots, change direction. The only exception to this is when she reloads or she shoots randomly across the map. That's when you want to go back to running the full length of the map, left and right. So for example, after this cutscene, I'm going to go to the far left and then make sure I have ample room to dodge her shots. Once she starts shooting me again with her flurry of railgun shots, that's when I go back to 2 shots, change direction. It might seem pretty intimidating. It kind of is till you get it down. But once you do get it down, it's one of the easier fights in the entirety of the Big Boss run for sure. Which is why we don't save before her or anything. But once you do that a few times, the fight is over as soon as you get this codec call. So congratulations, you made it through the Fortune fight. And you will be taken back up to the Strut A roof, where we need to exit out through the right side, but be careful, there are claymores there now. Now what you want to do is just walk up so you're all the way at the outer edge of this cage here, of this enclosure here, and just carefully go into the Strut A pump room. We're going to aerial down, equip our weapons, and we're going to let this guy see us, actually. But then we're going to dip back behind the wall so he can't shoot us. And then we're just going to aerial into him to stop his radioing in. And we are through to the FA connecting bridge. Once you're here, there is not much of anything to do, so you can catch your breath here as we head into the Strut F warehouse. And now that we have our coolant spray and the M9, the Strut F warehouse is going to be very easy to get through. We're going to use our coolant spray just like before. Spray it into this guy, walk up to him, and then shoot him in the head. And then we're going to take care of his friend across the way here. Try not to miss a million times like I do. And once you take him out, you can just proceed to the EF connecting bridge over this way. And then once you're there, just throw another chaff to make it super safe. Wait for it to go off. Once it does, proceed to our normal route. Remember to take your steps over these grates that make noise so you don't set off any claymores, and then make your way into the Strut E parcel room. Now this time around it's going to be very easy. All you want to do is equip your box, and then you're just going to maneuver over to the heliport. Now wait around this corner just 1 second. There's going to be a guy coming down the stairs. Hold him up, shoot him in the head. But other than that, super easy. That box gives us a little bit of camouflage inside the parcel room since we kind of blend in with the other boxes. Once you're in the Strut E heliport, same thing, just aerial over the stairs and then make your way up the big set of stairs. We're going to have one more bomb to defuse before we start the Fatman fight. But congratulations, you've made it to the second checkpoint. This is where we're going to save for the second time so you can breathe easy. You no longer have to go back and do everything you just did all over again if you mess up. You're just going to start the Fatman fight, and we're going to save here. Now, the basic strategy for the Fatman fight is, as you know, to knock him down with your SOCOM or with any weapon, and then fire your tranquilizer into his head. But if you want the most optimal start, here's how you do it. You want to first freeze this bomb that's right in front of you and over to the left, and then you're going to go back the way you came. Fatman's going to fire his weapon at you, dodge that, and then as soon as he's done firing, you can shoot at his skate, shoot him in the head once, and then freeze the bomb that's behind him while he's recovering, and then you can actually get another shot in there. That's kind of hard to do, so if you can't do that, if you can only get one shot in, that's fine. Just remember to freeze these first two bombs, and then switch to your SOCOM, and the remainder of the fight is literally just going to be following him around and making sure he does not plant additional bombs. So as you can see here, I'm trying to fish for a good angle to knock him down. I finally got it. I'm able to get 2 shots in. Now, the timing for getting 2 shots is kind of strict. So if you can only get 1 shot in, that's fine. As you can see there, I just interrupted him planting another bomb. I missed my first shot. That's fine. Again, as long as you can get 1 tranquilizer shot every time you knock him down, that's going to be fine. As you can also see, he doesn't do much damage at all with any of his moves, really. So whether he runs into you or he fires at you with his weapon, it really doesn't do much damage, so you don't have to worry about dying from boss damage. There are additional bullets for the SOCOM laying around, and the M9 actually, so get familiarized with where they are so you can replenish your ammo. As you can see, he just fired at me and ran into me twice, and I'm still fine with health. I got 2 shots in there. Just follow him around, make sure he does not plant any additional bombs, and it'll make this fight way easier and way shorter. Got a kind of a wonky angle there, so I had to reposition. And his recovery rate after you knock him down is pretty fast, so you can knock him down pretty quickly after you've initially knocked him down, if that makes sense. And that's pretty much the Fatman fight. I mean, that wasn't my fastest fight. It also wasn't the slowest that I've seen. But once you've gotten to this point, equip your coolant and then equip nothing. Pick up his body and move it out of the way, and you have 1 more bomb to freeze. But congratulations, you've taken on Fatman and come out victorious. Once you freeze that bomb, you are going to get a codec call. Just skip that. And then you're just going to make your way south back over to the staircase that we took to get up here, and you're going to get hit with a cutscene, a couple of cutscenes. Our next objective here, as we get past all of these codec calls and cutscenes, is to make our way back to the Strut F warehouse. And you'll notice as soon as this cutscene is over and you regain control of Raiden that you have a new item in your inventory called the BDU. You want to make sure you throw that on, as well as a box. And you also want to equip both of your handguns. So you'll see just in a second here, you have your BDU. That's going to give you a little bit of camouflage across the whole game. And your box, doesn't matter which one you equip. And then you also want to throw on both of your handguns. We're going to make our way back into the Strut E parcel room. That room is going to be very easy. All you want to do is aerial down both sets of stairs, then equip your box to give yourself a little bit of camouflage, and then make your way to the door that leads to the EF connecting bridge. The EF connecting bridge is going to require a little bit of strict timing. The first thing you want to do is aerial to your left, and then run out just a little bit so you can see the cipher. And as soon as that cipher moves, you want to move down, and you want to reach this first pylon here. And as you can see, that bottom right corner, that's the closest one to our feet. We want to use that. So you want to angle your left stick, your movement stick, into that pylon. And that's going to give you the precise angle that you need to then step over the noisy parts of the ground that make it so you can avoid the claymores. Once you've done that, stick to the left side here. And you're going to aim at this flying drone. And you want to shoot it in this portion of it to blow it up instantly. Once you do that, just make sure you aerial one more time there to avoid the other drone catching you and make your way into the Strut F warehouse. Once you're in here, just do a full CQC punch punch kick kick combination, because it's going to give us the perfect timing to then go into this door, and you can shoot at the wall here to further distract this guy and then tranquilize him as he's checking things out. Pick up your AK and then you are done. Make sure you throw it on. And then at this point, you are pretty much camouflaged and unable to cause an alert easily. I mean, you can still cause an alert, but it's going to be kind of hard to do that. Make your way back to the EF connecting bridge. And once you're here, it's going to be very simple. Just run past this first cipher. And then same thing here. You want to angle your left stick just slightly to the left once you pass this pylon to make sure you avoid the claymores. Once you do that, get to the staircase. And then once you're at the staircase, you do need to shoot this flying drone here. And then just aerial your way over these falling platforms. This is very important, or else you'll fall through. Pick up this ammo, and then this is extremely important. Make sure you have your AK and your BDU equipped before you run in. That's super important, or else you'll get caught instantly and cause an alert. And then after this codec call, as long as you don't do any aerials, fire your weapon, or take off your BDU, you should be free to just run past these guards and the cameras as well. Make sure your AK and your BDU are equipped before pressing the elevator button, or else that camera will spot you. And then make your way down to the B2 level. We're going to pick up the directional mic here. Now, this room is actually very simple. We want to start off by making sure you have your AK and your tranquilizer equipped. Once you've confirmed that, make your way down both sets of these stairs. Hold this guy up and then tranquilize him in the head. And then all you have to do is re-equip your AK, aerial your way down here. And now the main thing here is make sure you do not run into any of these guards. Make sure you avoid them while you pick up the directional mic back here. Same thing, keep avoiding the guards. Make your way to the left side now. And now you're pretty much free to go. Just aerial your way back to the elevator at the top of the stairs. And once you've made it to the elevator, just make sure you now go up to the B1 level. And once you're at the B1 level, again, it's going to be super easy. Just make sure you have your AK equipped. And then in your second slot, you actually want to have nothing. So go AK and then none. As you can see here, AK none. And then you want to skip this little cutscene here that plays out and walk over to this left wall here. Knock once. You're going to hear that guy say, huh? Then you want to walk over to the retinal scanner and just chill out there with your AK out. Pretend you're another guard, you know, just going about your patrol route, doing your thing, doing your day job. Once he walks past you, you can then unequip your AK, CQC, grab him, and then face him to the retinal scanner. And that's going to allow us access to where they have all of the prisoners, including Ames. And now Ames is going to be in a random spot. He's not always in the same spot on Extreme. So it's just going to take a little bit of RNG in finding him here. But he's the guy that kind of has like a little mullet going as his hairstyle. So I actually got pretty decent RNG here. He was pretty close to where we start off right here. Now make sure in your game, if he's not in this spot and if he's near a spot where there are guards, make sure you look around before you take out the directional mic and do this. Otherwise, you cause an instant alert if they see you. Either way, once you've gotten past all these cutscenes and codec calls, we're going to be spat back out into the B1 level that we were just in. Except our jig is up, and now we need to maneuver through this area without our camouflage, our BDU. So what you need to do here, what I like to do, is go left of the retinal scanner, Make sure you have your tranquilizer equipped. Left of the retinal scanner, knock once. That's going to cause the guard in front of the elevator to investigate. Line up your shot here, and then tranquilize him, and then you're free to go to the elevator now. And equip a chaff grenade. This next part is going to be super strict on the timing. As soon as you load in to the level 1 area, you need to instantly throw that chaff grenade up against the wall to your right, as you're about to see in a second here. And then keep running to the right, near where this camera is here. Re-equip your tranquilizer, and then you're going to take out 1 guard, 2 guards, and then you can start walking up here. Now, make sure this next guy does not see you. That causes an instant alert if this backup guard sees you with the shield. So just headshot him with the tranquilizer, pick up this ammo, and make your way outside. Once you're out here, it's going to be very easy. We're just going to wait about 6 seconds. So equip your AK and then wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then the Cypher should have moved away at that time. Shoot both of these Cyphers nearest to you, and then you want to tranquilize this guy way over here at the Strut E Heliport, or else he'll catch you later on. It might take a couple tries. Once you've done that, though, just aerial your way past these falling platforms till you get to this staircase. And then you're going to wait for the 3rd Cypher that we did not shoot to fly by. And once it does, you are free to then stay up against this left guardrail here, and you'll avoid all the claymores if you do that. As you make your way back to the Strut F warehouse, once again, make sure you have your coolant and your M9 equipped. And once you're in here, we're going to go straight left, aerial once, then aerial one more time down. We're going to spray this guy with the coolant, walk up to him, headshot, very easy. Then loop back around and take out both of these guys. 1, 2, and then make your way to the right side here of this top section of the Strut F warehouse. You're going to pick up your PSG-1. And then the tranquilizer variant is in here that we're going to need for the Twilight Sniping section in the future. Now be careful. He's recalling back the attack team. You're going to have one guy that's going to go back from his patrol right here. Don't do this risky maneuver that I just did. Just wait for him to patrol by and then run back to the EF connecting bridge door. That was really dumb of me. Do not do that. Once you're here, though, you can shoot these Cyphers or flying drones, whatever you want to call them. Go to our normal route. Once you're on our normal route, shoot the 2nd Cypher before it catches you, and then make your way back into the Strut E parcel room. Now, this time, we're not going to go our normal route. Make sure your box is equipped. That's very important. We're not going to go our normal route. We're going to go left here. So aerial twice. 1, 2. And then you're going to equip your box once you're on this side. This guy to the right is going to see you. But by the time he's able to investigate and radio in, you're gone to the DE connecting bridge. And once you're here, nothing to do here. Just literally aerial your way to the Strut D sediment pool. And the Strut D sediment pool is going to be much easier this time around. We're going to take out our normal guy that's right in front of us as soon as we walk in with a headshot. And then this time you can headshot this next guy. And those are the only 2 enemies that you need to tranquilize in this whole section. Just make your way up to this door that we can now access up here before starting the little sniping section with all of the Semtex sensor units before the Harrier fight. I'm going to show you guys a slower way of doing this. Now, I just want to make it clear that you can save here if you're kind of worried about maybe messing up hitting the Semtex sensors, especially the ones that are attached to Cyphers. This is the ultra safe option to save here. So if you don't trust yourself, if you don't trust your shot with the PSG-1, then I would save here. If not, just continue on. We're going to do the sniping section here. Pick up the pentazamine, take 1 of them, and then take out your PSG-1. Start taking out the sensor units. Now be very careful with these. I mess these up all the time, so just be super careful. If you need to see where the other Cypher is, just go out of first-person view. I actually messed up there and was attempting to shoot the same one that I've already shot, like an idiot, but that's okay. So be very careful. Just wait for it to move, and then once it stops, then you can shoot it. Continue shooting the rest of the Semtex control units. This one's kind of wonky to get. Get that one. Then there's quite a few that you can get with your SOCOM as well. But for these ones that are kind of far away, I do advise using the PSG-1. There's one behind the flag. And then now use the SOCOM. Get these ones right in front of you. 1 there. There's 2 here below you. 1, 2. There's also 1 behind you up here. There's one that you need to stand on your tiptoes and then look down. There's also one hanging off the side here. You might have to stand on your tiptoes or lean left and right by using L2 and R2 when you're aiming down first-person view. And then I forgot the one that's kind of like mid-range here. I don't advise doing this with the SOCOM. Do it with the PSG-1 if you're missing that one. But you'll know you got all of them if you get that little mini cutscene of the Semtex sensors shutting down, and then also this codec call. And proceed to skip these codec calls and make your way to the Harrier fight. Now, once the Harrier fight starts, that is going to be save number 3. If you did not save before taking out all the Semtex sensor units, this is where we're going to save now. So I'm actually going to make this Harrier fight last longer so I can show you guys how to dodge all of his attacks. The first thing you want to do, however, is equip your Stinger and fire at him 3 times. If you know how to do the 4th or 5th shots here, go ahead and do that. Either way, after those first 3 initial shots, he's going to fly off to the left. He always goes this way starting off. Keep in mind, going forward, he's not always going to go this way, so just keep that in mind. Once your lock-on appears, fire, unequip your Stinger, and then use that pylon to dodge. He's going to fly straight in front of you the other way. You can sometimes get 2 shots off here. Either way, once he's past a certain amount of HP or health, he's going to fly up in the air and shoot out what looks like flares. They're actually like carpet bombs, I think. What you want to do is flip over the rail and wait for that move to hit, and then you can go back upstairs. Once that hits, he's going to fly off into the distance again. Now, again, he's not always going to go the way that you're seeing in this video, but if he does go this way, you can, first of all, get 2 shots off on him. So let the first one hit here, and then fire again, and then you're going to use that same pylon to dodge. He's going to fly off the same way, try to get another extra shot or 2 on him, and then as you can see, he's going to loop down, and this is when he's going to begin his barrage of missiles. There's multiple ways to dodge this, but I'll show you guys my favorite. Fire 1 shot, and then put your back up against the wall and just press square or the fire button, and you're just going to continuously do that. You're going to fire shots off into nothing, but that's going to give you invulnerability frames. Once the barrage ends, you can then fire missiles at him. Try not to miss like I just did. You can sometimes get up to 4 shots there. Now, if you're running low on Stinger bullets, pick them up. Make sure you keep track of where he's flying off to. And as you can see here, he's going the opposite way as the first couple of times. This is going to be a single fire. So fire 1 missile and then use our same invulnerability move there where you put your back up against the wall and then fire off 1 shot. Now, this is what happens if you don't end this fight quick enough. He starts doing this Gatling gun attack. What you want to do is just hide in the lower level behind this like power unit, I think it is. And just hang out here. This is the best spot that I could find. Usually when I do the Harrier fight, it doesn't last this long. I don't really see this attack usually. So this is the best spot that I found that you can use to dodge this. And all you want to do here is just wait it out. I don't really know of any other way to stop this attack from happening, and you don't really want to risk getting hit. Once he's done attacking, though, he's going to fly off again. So just keep track of which direction he's facing. He's behind us here. So again, we're not going to be able to use our pylon. We're going to use our same move that we used before, or we can flip over the rail here. Either one works, so I chose to flip. That also makes you dodge the attacks. Usually I prefer to do the little handgun up against the wall, back, peeking shot maneuver, whatever you want to call it. That's usually easier. If the fight goes on this long, he's going to do another barrage of missiles. There you get another chance to see how to do it. Just basically put your back up against the wall, press square once, rinse, repeat, and then this is when you can finish off the fight. Try not to miss like I did twice here. And then finish off the fight. And that is the Harrier fight. Now, this is one of my least favorite fights, to be honest with you. So, no big deal if it takes you a couple of tries. That's why we save before it. Speaking of saving, do not save here. However, if you are not confident in the next couple of steps, and you can obviously skip ahead and see what we're going to do next, you can save here. This can actually be your next save. However, keep in mind, and this is very important, if you save here, you will not be able to save later on after the Metal Gear Ray fight, before the Solidus fight, or during the Solidus fight, I should say. You will not be able to do that, meaning you will have to fight the 20 Metal Gear Rays and then Solidus back to back. And keep in mind, you also have a torture sequence after the Metal Gear Rays. So choose what you're going to do wisely here. Either you save here or you save after the Metal Gear Ray fight, but you cannot save in both. So again, maybe skip ahead, see what we're going to do, and see if you can tackle that without saving. Otherwise, if you want to be really safe and then kind of pay for it later, save now. Now, there are two different ways to get to where we need to go here. This is the safer method, which is flip over that railing and then shimmy your way over this large pipe here. Make sure, 100% sure, that you are over the pipe before you drop down. Once you're sure, go ahead and drop down, and then you're going to have to walk slowly here by angling the left or movement stick just slightly forward, and that is to ensure that you don't slip and fall, and then climb your way up here using the action button. Now, the second method, which is the method I use, is much more risky, and that is literally just aerialing your way over this large gap, then making your way up the stairs here, and then aerialing over this. Once you're over here, make sure you equip your BDU and a chaff grenade. We're going to use that chaff grenade in just a moment. Watch out for these falling tiles, and if you aerial there, make sure that you're angled in a way where you won't fall off. Then you want to flip over this railing and just barely make your way over to the right before dropping down. Don't go too far or you'll fall down. Make this first gap with an aerial, and then you want to flip over this railing. And there's a way to do this quickly. We're not going to do that. We're just going to take this nice and slow and make sure that these guys do not spot us. Now, the reason why we're equipping our BDU is because it does help with camouflage just a little bit. And your cue to go is when that guy on the left stops. You can actually get up now, aerial, and then press the action button to go up the ladder. That's your cue. Just watch for that left guy, that left guard. Once you're here, nice and easy, we're going to aerial once and then stay prone, and then you're just going to mash, unequip, and re-equip your chaff grenade over and over again. That makes you crawl a little faster. Again, there is a faster way to do this section, but I want to make sure that you guys do not get caught here. So just do this. Once that second guard passes you, you're free to go. Now you're going to do the same thing here with your chaff grenade. Equip it and unequip it to make sure that you can shimmy up against the wall quicker. Same thing occurs when you shimmy and unequip and re-equip a grenade while you're crouched and shimmying. So do that, and then do it a little bit more, and you're good to go from here. Then you can just aerial your way past this guy here before dropping down this railing into the level below. Pick up this ammo if you want, and then throw that chaff grenade. And the reason we throw that chaff grenade is because there are a shit ton of ciphers up ahead. Aerial over that, and then this aerial is kind of risky. You can flip over the railing and take it a bit slower if you want to. And then make your way inside the Shell 2 core, where you're going to get hit with a couple of cutscenes and codec calls you can skip. Once you get past all these cutscenes and codec calls, our objective is to get to the elevator in the back portion of this room here. And this is your chance to kind of recoup a little bit and breathe easy. There's not really much to do here in terms of enemies or staying hidden for quite a while. We do have a swimming portion coming up, but it's not that bad at all, I promise. So make your way the same way that I'm going here to the elevator in the back of the room. Press it twice for it to arrive quicker, and then make your way to the B1 level. The first little swimming section here isn't long at all. Our objective is to pick up the Nikita, the guided missile launcher. And there's a little trick here that I do believe the Colonel mentions in-game, but in case you skipped the cutscenes or you didn't really know it, if you mash the swim button, which is the circle button on a PlayStation controller, and the triangle button at the same time while you're swimming, it makes your oxygen level deplete much, much slower. In order to reach the Nikita, just follow the same route that I just went there. Turn left here, then make a right. Watch out for that mine, and the Nikita, it will be waiting for you here. You can then flick the right stick back to do like a little 180 turn or flip in the water, and then just make your way back the way we came. Make a right here. And then at the end of this hallway, you want to make a left, and you'll be at the stairs that we used to come down to this area initially. Resurface, and then make your way back to the elevator and back to the floor that we came from. You can equip your Nikita here, but just don't fire it into the wall. So on second thought, don't equip your Nikita here. Now, once we're back on floor 1, before we go over to the vent and fire a missile into the vents, the first thing you want to do is wake up the president. The way you do that is walk outside here to make sure you don't get hit by your Nikita, and then just shoot a missile into this wall here. If you did it right, he should have a reaction. It should say on your screen. And then now we can proceed down here and climb up on this crate here and fire a missile. You want to go left, then make a quick right, then another left, then another right, then another quick left, another right, and then you are in the room. Just make sure you avoid the president. He's kind of an idiot sometimes. And hit this electrical panel back here. That's going to de-electrify the ground that we need to walk over. And that's found over here up the stairs. And wait for the cutscene to trigger. Once you get through all of those codec calls and cutscenes, you want to head back to the door from which you came in. You're going to get hit with another cutscene.
I took these photos.
Skip all of these as well. And then finally, once you've regained control of Raiden, you just want to make your way all the way back to that elevator that we used before. So down these stairs, across this way, and then up these stairs, and toward the back of the room. And we're going to go to that same level that we were at before, where we had to swim. Only this time, the swim is going to take a little bit longer. And our objective now is to reach the Vamp 1 boss room. And that is going to be our next save point. So we are almost there. Once again, get back into the water here, and then try that trick out. Make sure you mash circle and triangle, and again, that's if you're using a PlayStation controller. You should notice that your oxygen depletes much slower, so make a right here, then make a left here, another left, then another right. Watch out for these mines, and then another left, another right, and then make sure you're floating or swimming to the top right there so you avoid that mine, and then mash triangle to open this door. Skip this little mini cutscene, and then you're going to swim over to your left, then top left, then bottom right. You can pick up these stinger missiles if you want, then swim up into the right and open this door. And once you've opened this door, you're just going to head to the right. There's going to be a staircase there, and you're just going to resurface there. Once this codec call has been skipped, just walk into the door in front of you. And that is going to trigger the Vamp boss fight, which is where our next save is going to be. So make sure you save here. Everybody save here, regardless of where you saved before on the Harrier fight. For the Vamp fight, the first thing you want to do is equip your tranquilizer and shoot him once in the head before making your way over to this left corner here and then pressing your CQC button, so circle on a PlayStation controller, 3 or 4 times, enough to kind of push you over the edge. The reason why you don't want to just walk off is because sometimes you press your left stick in too far and it launches you off and you die. You're going to wait till Vamp walks over to you. Once he's near you, you can pick yourself up. You have invincibility frames. And then the remainder of the fight is just going to be this. You're just going to keep doing 1-2 punch combinations, getting closer and closer. And the most important part is, 1, obviously dodging his knife attack when he uses it. And 2, after you do your flurry of punches, you want to end up pretty much inside Vamp's character model. Otherwise, I'm going to show you guys. I'm going to mess up on purpose here in a second to show you guys what happens and then how to regroup if you do mess up like this. So keep throwing your flurry of punches. Now again, if you're too far away after those punches, you'll have Vamp run away like you did here. The way to correct this and then finish him off is just to do the same thing as we did in the beginning. Just walk over to the edge as close as you can get, and then CQC punch or kick off the edge, and it'll put you hanging off the edge as you're seeing here. This will make Vamp resurface. He might jump around a little bit. This wastes a lot of time if you can't do it in one fell swoop, but this is the way to recover if he does kind of take off without taking any damage or having to shoot at him. You just do the same thing, wait for him to walk over to you. Once he gets close, you pick yourself up and then finish him off. And that's the Vamp fight. It might require a bit of practice, but I promise it's super easy once you get it down. Literally just have to get your CQC punches down. Make sure that you're in range after those flurry of punches, and then just dodge the knife attack. Either way, congratulations on taking on Vamp. Pick up that ammo, and then we're going to go down into this water here as we make our way over to Emma. Now, before we go directly to Emma, this is very important. Swim all the way to the end of the hall, and then go left here and pick up this body armor. This is massive. You absolutely need this item. I picked this item up regardless of what difficulty I'm playing on, whether I'm doing dog tags, whatever, because it's just a huge help. And especially on Extreme or Euro Extreme, it's just a blessing. So pick that up. Once you do, head over to this area here. And this is where we're going to meet up with Emma. Go through this door, aerial your way down here, and then press the action button once you get close to that locker. You're going to be greeted with a bunch of cutscenes and codec calls. And then once you skip all of those, we're going to start our swimming section here with Emma on our back. Now that little trick with triangle and circle does not help with Emma's oxygen. You can still use it for your own, but it does not help with Emma's oxygen, so just keep that in mind. Make your way back to the room from which we came from initially, before we picked up the body armor and all that. And then you're going to hold the action button to make Emma follow you, and make your way back into where we fought Vamp. Once you're there, you're going to hit a couple of cutscenes and codec calls. Now you just want to proceed to escort Emma out of this room via this southern exit here. And then at this point, we need to do another swimming section. So exit out of this room to your left, then go up, down right, up left, down right. And then be very careful here. Make sure you swim all the way to the top of this doorway, or else you will hit that mine. Once you made it through those mines, go left, then right immediately. Watch out for that mine, go left. And then we're actually going to resurface here to make sure Emma does not drop below half HP. Then swim back down, go straight down the hallway, and then make a left, and you will be at the staircase. Then you can resurface. Now this next portion, Emma is scared of the bugs on the ground, so what you want to do is hold the action button to escort her over to around where the node is found, that computer. Then leave her there. Walk over to the elevator and press the action button twice. And then you want to press square and hold it to CQC choke her, and that's how you're going to get her and drag her over to the elevator. Once she's in, let her go, and then go back up to floor level 1. Now, once you're here, you want to immediately grab Emma, and then go down in a straight line like this. Just go straight down where that arrow is showing you until you hit the wall, and then you want to make a sharp left turn, and then same thing here. You're just going to go straight down where that arrow is showing you until you hit that piece of furniture, that little like couch there. Then make your way left. This makes it so we can avoid this guy without having to shoot him or anything. And then just make your way down until you reach the staircase. Once you reach the staircase, you will have a small cutscene indicating that another guard has just come down from the elevator. You can't skip it. That's fine. However, once the cutscene ends, make sure you press triangle again because the game makes you let go of Emma. Drag her to around this corner right here. And then you're going to go off on your own with your M9 and tranquilize these two here, these two guards. Once you take both those guards out, unequip your weapon so you can grab onto Emma again and escort her up these stairs here. Once you reach like these boxes or crates to your right, leave her there. That's going to make this last guy spawn. Take him out, and then you're going to take Emma outside of this building. And then out here, once we reach the KL connecting bridge, the first thing we want to do is grab onto Emma again, and then make your way up, and then you're going to do like a little swoop down to pick up these chaff grenades. Keep walking with Emma across this bridge. Now, if you want to be really safe, you can just tranquilize this guy that's looking through binoculars up here. You don't need to because we are using a chaff, but I just thought I'd show you. Throw a chaff grenade, get your coolant ready, and then unequip your coolant so you can grab onto Emma. The chaff grenade is going to go off. That means the ciphers will not be able to see you and cause an alert. There's going to be one guard north, like northeast, if you're looking up above right, and you don't have to mess with him at all. Just proceed over to this fire down here. You're going to let go of Emma, equip your coolant, and spray around to kind of extinguish the fire here. Once it's extinguished, you can grab onto Emma and drag her through it until you reach this little doorway here. You can drop her off and then run to the doorway yourself. That'll trigger this little mini cutscene. And then you can drag Emma inside the Strut L sewage facility. Now you're going to have two guys here. You don't want to shoot this guy immediately. Wait like a second or two. Wait till you see that guy patrolling behind him and then take him out. If you shoot him too soon, the guy behind him in the distance will see you and get suspicious, and then it just throws everything off. So just wait a second or two. Wait for the guy. Wait till you can see the guy's head patrolling by in the distance. Then take this first guy out. Take this second guy out, and then escort Emma all the way back here. Open up the store with the action button and then drag her through it. And we are almost to our next save spot, which is going to be the Twilight Sniping section. Skip this codec call, this cutscene, this codec call as well. And once you get the little animation of Raiden climbing down that ladder and Emma dropping down to that little walkway, then you can save here. So this is going to be our next save for everybody. Now, as for the Twilight Sniping section, there's nothing too difficult here if you follow the right order in which to do things. Step number 1 is pick up these thermal goggles right in front of you. You're going to equip your pentazamine and the thermal goggles, and then take a pentazamine. And now the first thing we want to do is fire 2 shots at these first 2 guards here. You don't have to headshot them. In fact, I don't think you should headshot them. Just make sure you hit both of them. And then swing your viewpoint over to the area in front of Emma to take out these claymores. What we're doing here is trying to get the most bang for our buck in terms of the pentazamine. Once you've taken off that initial set of claymores, shift your view over to the right side here, and you're going to find on this little walkway here a few more than a few actually, claymores that you can take out. Now, once your pentazamine runs out, that's kind of like your cue to then refocus on the area in front of where Emma currently is walking, because that means that there will be some guards that spawn here momentarily, and they're always going to follow this pattern to spawn. So we're going to do top left of the tower first, the second level here. You're going to see the first guard appear in just a second. Take him out. Readjust your aim to the bottom right. Take that guard out, and then you're going to have the last one, for the moment at least, on the bottom left. The reason why we position there is because, as you can see, the tranquilizer ammo spawns right there. And then using the last little bit of pentazamine, if you can, make sure to get that last claymore if you didn't get it during the initial phase that we tried to take them out. Make sure you look to the right of that second tower and take out that last claymore, or those last few claymores. For now, you can just chill out. Don't take any pentazamine until you see this last guard. There's going to be a 4th guard that spawns here once Emma reaches this first tower. So for the moment being, just hang out. Look out for that guard. Catch your breath. Whatever you need to do. Once you see that guard spawn, you can take your last pentazamine and take him out. Pick up that pentazamine over to your left and just equip it. You don't need to take any right now. Make sure you got all your weapons that you need equipped. I like to take out this first little floating gun camera droid thing right now while I still have pentazamine left. You can either shoot them once where its little camera spot is, or you can shoot them on like the outer shell at the top 3 times, and that also takes them out. It's probably easier just to aim at like the top portion, the outer shell portion, and just shoot it 3 times. Don't need to take any pentazamine just yet, but as soon as you see the guards first appear, you want to start taking it. So right now, as you can see, our first guard has spawned. Take him out. He's going to have the other guard spawn here in a second. Don't worry if Emma takes a little bit of damage. You obviously don't want her to take too much, but just focus on getting those guards down. And then there should be a Cypher creeping up on her, or a gun camera. Take that out as well. And then for the time being, you can just hang out. Enjoy the view. Whatever you need to do. You don't have to take that floating droid out yet, but I like to do it just to make sure there's nothing near Emma at all. There is going to be, just like in the first tower, a 4th guard that spawns once Emma reaches the second tower. But for the time being, again, just hold on to your pentazamine. You want to make sure you have pentazamine for the Vamp 2 fight. So there's the last guard. Once he spawns, you can go ahead and take a pentazamine and take him out. And then I would shift your viewpoint over to this last little platform that Emma needs to walk over and start taking out the floating gun cameras there. Once you've done that, all you have to do really is wait for Emma to reach the halfway point of this platform, right around where the sun is setting. Now you're going to get a call from Snake. Just skip it and make sure you don't take his offer of him taking over and sniping everything for you. His kills during this section, his kills and his eliminations in general will count toward you. So you do not want to have Snake help you here at all. Otherwise, you will end up with kills at your score screen at the end of the game. So just keep that in mind. Keep protecting Emma from these floating gun camera things. And then for the Vamp 2 boss fight section, you want to immediately switch to your Tranquilizer variant of your PSG-1. Make sure that's equipped. Make sure you take a pentazamine. And then you can either shoot him here at his legs here, or at his torso. Just make sure you switch sides so you're not hitting Emma. If you hit Emma a few times, it's not a huge deal, but try to avoid that if you can. Make sure you pick up more ammo when you need it. As you can see there, I hit Emma a few times, but doesn't matter because this fight is super easy. Just make sure you aim at his legs or at his torso, opposite the side that he's using Emma as a human shield. Once you get past that, that's it for Vamp and Metal Gear Solid 2. We have a small sneaking section where we need to go to the Shell 1 core, which is the area in between the EF connecting bridge. So just open up this door with the action button, go left again, and then go up these stairs. There's going to be one guard at the very top guarding where we need to go. I like to use the BDU just to have more camouflage here. So there's the one guard. He's listening to music. He's having a good time. Just take him out. Make your way to the EF connecting bridge. Make sure you equip your AK for this next section here. We're going to be shooting at some ciphers. Want to do an aerial here. Walk out just a little bit. Enough to take out that first cipher. And then that second cipher over here. And then there's one more heading toward us in the middle there. Once those are all gone, walk over your normal point that I showed you earlier. And then make sure you aerial over the gaps. These are the gaps that you made earlier on. On Extreme and Euro Extreme, they actually stay. They don't get repaired. So just keep that in mind. Once you're in the Shell 1 core, there's nobody here. So just go up the stairs. You can aerial to your heart's content over to the elevator back here. And it's already open for you, so you don't have to worry about pressing the button. Now you're going to have a bunch of cutscenes and a bunch of codec calls to skip here. Do not save there. Trust me, you do not want to save there. I'll show you guys where to save in just a second.
It's been a while, hasn't it, Jack the Ripper?
Now you're going to have a small little taste of the torture sequence here, but this portion is a joke. Trust me. You barely have to tap the triangle or action button to get through it. The actual torture sequence later is much, much harder, but this is kind of like a little warm-up for that, I guess.
Mr. Ack? Olga,
Once you get past all those cutscenes and codec calls, there's going to be like a little unskippable moment here where Olga's going to hit you. There's nothing you can do about this damage as far as I know. So you just have to take it. She's going to walk out of the room, and then in about 30 seconds, 45 seconds, you're going to be set free. And then at that point, is the point where you can save if you would like to. I actually like to wait until you gain control of Raiden again, and then you go into the Arsenal Gear Jejunum, I think it's called. So skip all this. You're going to be set free. You're going to reassume control of Raiden, and then you're going to walk out these two doors, the top right here. And then this next portion is where I like to save. So skip this codec call. And we're going to save here. Now this next section is actually very easy to get through without being caught or detected. The very first thing you want to do is just walk up and hide yourself behind these crates here. Wait till that first Tengu guard completely turns around. As soon as he does, just go behind him, aerial once, and then make your way up the staircase. You're going to get hit with a codec call halfway up the second set of stairs. Now, after this codec call, you're just going to go up to the top of the stairs, just enough to where you can see this guard, but he can't see you. Once he completely turns around, we're going to do an aerial over these noisy parts of the ground here. Then wait here for him to turn around at the top right, as you can see. Once he's turned around, you can continue forward. Then aerial over these noisy parts of the ground, and then you're going to have to clear this gap here. So this is the only tough part, really. Once you get past that gap, just continue forward, and then you're just going to aerial behind this guy and make it into the next section where we meet up with Snake. Once you're here, you want to immediately answer codec calls and skip them. So answer it, skip this, you're going to get called again, answer it immediately. There it is. So you answer it, then skip this. Keep doing that until you get a call from Rose, and that's going to progress the game. There it is. There's the call from Rose. You just want to skip all of this. And then you're going to get the cutscene where you meet up with Snake. He's going to give you all your gear back, including a brand new weapon, which is the sword. Now use this time to throw on your body armor for the next section. And then change your sword to the blue setting, the non-lethal setting, which is done by pressing square. Now an important thing about the sword is while it is in non-lethal position or setting here, if you click in R3 and do that stabbing move, it will still count as lethal. That makes people bleed out. So do not attempt the move, or do not use the move where you click in R3, the little stab. That still counts as a lethal kill. Otherwise, get ready for this next section, which will be kind of difficult. What we're going to do here in this next portion is, with our body armor equipped, we're going to equip those stun grenades that we got earlier on in the game. And we're going to use pretty much all of them to stun and create a gap for us to get through all these Tengu. We're not going to kill them or tranquilize them. We're literally just going to stun them. So throw your first stun and then hide behind this wall. Wait for it to go off. And then just keep throwing them while you keep moving forward toward the back of the room. You're going to get shot here. You're going to take a bunch of damage. It's going to take probably multiple attempts. Once you get to this back door, we're going to do what's called the Tengu 1 skip. The way you do it is you put your back all the way up against the wall. You go into first person view, and then you CQC combo and let go right as the combo ends, and that's going to make it so you skip the door there. I'm going to play it again in slow motion so you can see it once again. So the first thing you want to do is reach the back of the room, obviously with all the stun grenades. Once you've reached the back of the room and all the enemies near you are stunned, put your back up against the wall, CQC with the circle button. Once the CQC combo is about to end, let it go, point toward the door, and it should, if you did it right, skip you through to the next section here without having to interact with any of those Tengu. Once you're in this next section here, just go to the middle platform here to start the encounter. This next section here isn't terribly difficult. I'm going to show you the fancy way to do it first. You can just tranquilize Snake right off the bat, run over to the edge of the map here, and then just keep spraying the Tengu over and over again from left to right, right to left. One thing you have to keep in mind if you do this method is that you have to let go of the coolant for just a split second or so to recharge it. The coolant does actually run out of spray So again, you let it go for a second, it'll recharge, and then you can keep doing this pretty much the entire time. That's one method of doing it, but this is not the method that I recommend, especially to a new player. It's kind of a fancier way to do this section of the game. Before we get into the more traditional method, which is what I'm going to show you in a second, I do want to direct your attention to this mock game over screen that the game presents to you periodically. Now, this isn't just gibberish. These are actually stats, and stats that you can check to see if you're in or on Big Boss pace. So the first one we're going to look at is prudence. That's actually total number of saves. So as you can see, I have 6. That number needs to be less than 8. Next, we're going to look at ammo. That's the total number of shots that you fired during this playthrough. That number needs to be less than 700. Next, we have alert number, which is obviously the number of alerts. That needs to be 3 or less. Next, we have NUET or NUET, which is total number of kills. That obviously needs to be at 0. And finally, we have damage amount, which is the total number of damage you have received. That number needs to stay below 499 by the end of the game. As you can see, I have 100 damage taken up until this point. So yeah, just a little way that you can check to see if you are on Big Boss pace. This is now the more traditional way to do this section. It's not terribly difficult. Make sure you have your body armor on and make sure you have your sword set to blue or non-lethal. You're just basically going to take out whatever guys that Snake doesn't take out immediately. He's going to do like 70, 80% of the job here during this portion of the game. You just have to kind of assist him. Again, this is another place to practice that tip that I gave you guys toward the beginning of the guide, where if your health dips down to the yellow section of the life bar or the health bar, you can crouch momentarily and just stay still, and your health will recover up to a certain extent. It's not going to recover fully, but it'll recover back into the bluish greenish area of your HP bar. So again, this is the more traditional way to do it. You basically just have your sword up to deflect anything that might be fired at you with L1, and then when you get close to a Tengu, you basically just use the right stick up and down or left and right to slash at them and take them out non-lethally. You want to do that for the next 3 minutes or so, 3.5 minutes, until the screen fades to black. So for the sake of this video, I am going to fast forward the rest of this until the next portion. Keep in mind also that after this, we do get to save, so you only need to do this successfully once, and then you're going to save at the beginning of the Ray fight. So I'll talk to you guys then. Nice job getting through all those Tengu. The next point we're going to get to is where Solidus gives you his little spiel about the S3 plan and all that. Don't save here. You're just going to hear him out. Make sure you switch to your Stinger. Have your Stinger and your SOCOM as your primary and previous weapons. And make sure you have the body armor. That is super important. But anyway, just let Solidus get through his whole spiel. We're not going to save here. We're going to save as soon as the Metal Gear Raise fight initiates, right as the fight starts. And that'll be our 7th or 8th save, depending on whether you saved right after the Harrier or if you held off to save during Vamp 1.
When Foxhound no longer exists. I'm sorry to see you reduce the Patriots fights, but I made use of you and their plan too. Solid Snake appearance, your arrival, it was the Patriots were on my ranks. I just look at the mission in the final phase. You gave it handy as bait. Jack, those days of war was real as they come. Every day was absolute. Snake to life and death. You ran fight, and now you've been led back to war by something less than you.
Alright, so once that's over, you're going to save here. If this is your 7th save, then you're good to go. If this is your 8th save, you're going to have to do this along with Solidus, all in one kind of attempt. Now, I'm actually going to super slow-mo the beginning of the Ray fight because I think it's super important to get the beginning right and set yourself off on the right foot. First thing you want to do is do 2 aerials in a row. 1, and then 2, and then immediately switch to your Stinger. And this is the order that you're going to take the rays out here, these initial 3 rays. You're going to do middle, so you're going to shoot him in the knee once. That's going to land, and then you're going to hit him in the head. So that's middle, and then right. Now you want to do the same thing. Knee shot, then the head shot. So the knee shot's going to land. You're going to shoot him in the head, and then you're going to swing all the way over to the left. And you're going to do the same thing to that ray. So we're going to go middle, right, left, which is where we're at right now. Knee shot into headshot. Then you're going to swing over to the middle again. Knee shot into headshot. And as soon as you send out that missile for the headshot, since he's so close, it's going to hit super fast, which means we can then go over to the right, do the same thing. knee shot, headshot, back over to the middle. He should have just recovered right now, enough to hit him in the knee again. Another headshot. And then you're going to go over to the left, and you're going to send out either 1 or 2 missiles. If you're quick, you can do 2 like I did here. So 1, 2, and as you can see, he just shot off a missile. So as soon as you send that first or second shot, you want to aerial into where this middle ray just was, and then you want to aerial again to the right to dodge the 1 missile that the left ray sent out before we could stop him. And then from here, you just want to take out the middle ray, who should be the weakest one. Try to get some shots off on the left ray. Weaken him. Now, left ray, the one that I just shot out, the one that did not shoot the missiles out, is going to be the one that's going to go on the platform. And the main thing that you want to remember with this fight, the number one thing that you want to remember is spacing. The spacing between you and where the rays are, and that's the rays around the arena, and the primary target, which is the one on the arena with you, is crucial. The spacing is the number one thing you want to keep track of. So you never want to be right up against the rays when they jump up on the platform, because 1, they'll stomp you, and if they're out of stomp range, they'll do their number 1 most lethal move, which is the laser cutter. It's a one-shot no matter what. So you never, ever, ever want to be right up on the rays when they jump up on the platform, and you also never want to be near the rays on the side, really. Because once you take out one of the rays, as you can see there, another one takes its place immediately. Now that move that he was just about to do, that is what you want to happen. That's the move that you want them to use, this little Gatling gun thing. Because as you can see, they telegraph it. It's super slow, and it's extremely easy to dodge. All you have to do is run back toward the camera a little bit, and you've dodged it. So that is the sweet spot. That's what I'm going to refer to as the sweet spot for the rest of this portion. You absolutely want to try to bait them into doing that move, your primary target. And then the other super lethal move is the move that I'm getting spammed with right now, which is the missiles. You know they're coming toward you because they have like that rapidly increasing beep, that beeping that increases in frequency the closer they get to you. So there it is again. I was in the sweet spot there, which made it so I could bait that little like Gatling gun move that they do with one of their arms. There we go again. I baited it again perfectly. It's such a slow move that you can actually get a knee shot in before they even attempt it. So that time there, I was actually too far. I wasn't in the sweet spot. I was too far away from my primary ray on the arena with me. And when you're too far away from them like that, they'll send out their knee rockets. And that's the other really scary lethal move. That's a one-shot. It also comes out very quickly. And there's 2 knee rockets that come out at the same time. So be very careful not to be too far away from your primary target. That's why we call it the sweet spot, right? Because it's not too far away, and it's also not extremely close to the point where they do their laser cutter attack. The other thing that you can do to make this fight a little bit faster and a little bit easier is when you have downtime after you hit your primary target on the arena with you, you can then send follow-up shots to the rays off to the edge of the arena. Now, I wouldn't really advise doing this if you're new and you haven't really had much practice with this fight. As you can see, I just got hit by the Gatling gun by the ray outside of the arena. It's not a huge deal. I'm going to try to cheese some recovery here by crouching. And here comes the next ray up on the platform with me. And I'm just going to focus on my primary target here because I do have missiles coming after me. Wait for him to recover, shoot him in the knee again. And then I noticed that this ray lined up kind of perfectly to where I could shoot him and kind of distract him. Even if you don't do any damage to the rays out in the arena, you kind of want to send some missiles out there so it kind of clips them in the knee and it stops them from doing their stupid, annoying missiles. So the missiles and the laser cutter and the knee rockets are the most dangerous moves. The moves that you want to come out, again, are that little Gatling gun. As you're seeing here, you literally just have to make like a little U-turn with Raiden and it dodges that attack. And then once you really get a feel for it, you can start kind of shooting the rays to the side and stuff. But if this is your first time attempting this game on Extreme, honestly, just focus on your primary target, the ray that's currently on the arena with you. Don't worry too much about, getting fancy and trying to maximize your damage. Other thing that I forgot to mention because I was trying to explain everything else in this fight is that you pretty much have infinite ammo because these stinger bullets or missiles spawn on each point of this little hexagon here. So just make sure you're picking them up when you dip below 10 Stinger missiles, I'd say, to get maximum value. You can honestly just pick them up whenever you want, though. I try to pick them up as much as I can here, as you can see. Watch that Gatling gun. We're going to get another ray to replace the one that just went off the stage. And the way that you can tell which ray is going to jump up is the camera kind of like jolts and heads toward the ray that's currently going to, or is next in line to jump up on the arena with you. You'll notice on this next, I'll try to point it out here when we take out this next ray. There we go. I got the sweet spot there. Got maximum damage. Got a little bit of damage on that one to the side there. Sometimes they'll do that little thing where they open their mouth and they don't really do anything. They're just kind of showing off. So we'll try to pay attention here. This ray that I'm currently fighting is damaged, so he's jumping off. And then you can see the camera kind of jolted over to that right side ray. That's how you know which one's coming up next. Luckily, I was in the sweet spot there to get the Gatling gun maneuver. And I'm going to finish off that ray. And I'm going to take the time that it takes him to get off the stage to do some damage to these rays that are off to the side, while also dodging their attacks. That missile attack is super annoying. It's very annoying. Just bait that, shoot him in the knee, hit him in the head, try to get some damage to the other rays if you can. I didn't think I could there, so I went back to my primary target. Let's try again here. Just ghosting my missiles for some reason. I got the sweet spot, baited that, dodged the missiles. It becomes muscle memory the more you do this fight. I've done this fight so many times now that I kind of have a feel for the range and everything. But again, spacing is the #1 most important thing. Make sure you're not super close to the rays on the edge of the arena, and make sure you're obviously not super close to the ray that inhabits the arena after you take one out. So I'm actually kind of close here, which is why I'm kind of dipping back a little bit from this ray. He looked like he was just about to do his laser cutter attack, so I got to make sure I get some range. I also have a ray behind me on the edge of the arena that's a little close that I don't really like, so I'm moving away from him as well. And then I'm just going to finish off this ray. Get some free damage on these guys off to the side here. It's all practice. It's all muscle memory. As you can see there, since I shot him in the knee before he got 3 missiles off, he only shot 1 out. I got the sweet spot for this ray up on the arena with me. Didn't get the damage there. Didn't get the follow-up shot. We got the knee rockets. Those are super scary to dodge. Those are always terrifying to dodge. So I made sure to get a little bit closer to the ray that I'm currently fighting so he doesn't do that again, because those missiles are terrifying. Kind of got into a little rhythm here where I was able to get some free damage on 2 targets at the same time. So I finished off 2 rays there instead of just 1, which is nice. We got the replacement ray with us here now. He's kind of far away, so I move toward him a little bit here. Get that sweet spot going. Get some free damage on the ray behind me. It's all spatial awareness and spacing, and then obviously getting good with the Stinger missile launcher. That kind of scared me there. I thought he was going to do his laser cutter attack. Wait for him to get off the stage, see which ray is going to replace him. I chose to play it safe here. I didn't want to shoot any missiles till I knew which ray was going to jump up. So this guy I'm really close to. I'm going to get some space between me and him and also get away from those rockets that just shot out. Clip him in the knee. Wait for him to recover and then shoot him in the knee again. We're in the sweet spot, so I'm not worried about it. Finish him off. And then I think we're pretty much done here. As soon as I damage these other rays a bit. Just a few more instances of damage here and we should be done. And there we go. That's the ray fight. It's going to take some practice. It's not going to be something that you can probably get. Don't save here, by the way. But it's not going to be something that you can probably do first try. You kind of have to get into that rhythm, get that muscle memory going with the Stinger launcher, and then remember your spacing and all that. But I really do help some of those tips. I really do hope some of those tips helped you guys out. I know I was kind of explaining things quickly. Now for the torture sequence, there's a little trick here. I don't know 100% if this is just in my mind or if it does work in the Master Collection. But as soon as you get choked, you can look at Snake and then mash triangle. That kind of inspires Raiden a little bit, and it makes it so you have an easier time with the torture sequence. I know for a fact that's been a thing since I think Substance, since the original release of Substance. I think it was broken in the HD collection, and now they fixed it again for the Master Collection. Again, it might just be in my head, but I know that was a mechanic. I just don't know if it's currently working the way it was intended in the Master Collection. But either way, good luck getting through that torture sequence. Now, if you did not save after the Harrier fight, right, the jet fight that we had with Solidus, you can save here after all these codec calls and cutscenes. While the Solidus fight or after the Solidus fight starts, you have one more save that you're allowed, and we're going to use that again as soon as the Solidus fight starts. Now, if you did save after the Harrier fight, you cannot save here. You have to fight Solidus after the raise without saving. I just want to reiterate that for like the 5th time, so no one yells at me in the comments that they didn't know and they were over one save. So again, if you didn't fight or if you didn't save after the Harrier fight, make sure that you save here, and this will be your final save. Now, as for the Solidus fight, the best way to take him on is to kind of get him in this loop, stuck in this loop. As you can see, I punched him twice there, and then I blocked, and he kicked, and then I attempted to do the loop again. I kind of messed up there, but I'm going to show you how to do it. So let him recover, slash twice. He's going to either kick or do a little move like that. You didn't want to punch him 3 times. Let him recover, slash again. He's going to kick, punch him 3 times. Let him recover, slash him twice. Let him kick, punch him 3 times. You're going to do this as much as possible. The timing is a little bit strict on letting him recover and then slashing him again. And then here I kind of get kicked off the map. Not a huge deal, but just be careful not to do that. When he's at range, he's going to send out missiles. I know it's kind of counterintuitive, but when he sends out those missiles, you actually want to aerial into him. You want to walk toward him and then aerial into him. That ensures that you will not get hit by the missiles. So you'll see me do it again here in a second. He's going to send out rockets. I'm going to walk toward him, aerial. See how I dodge that very easily? Then I just punch him 3 times. I tried to let him recover there. That loop is kind of hard to get, even for me sometimes. So just try to get him stuck in it as much as you can. Punch, punch, punch. Let him recover a little bit. Slash. And then see, it still didn't work for me there. So it's going to be some trial and error. Again, if he does go at range, he's going to send out missiles. You actually kind of want that because they're very easy to dodge. And then you get to follow up some more shots. That time I got the recovery frames correct. I'm going to try to let him recover here. There we go. It worked again. He's going to kick, punch, punch, punch. Let him recover. Slash, slash. He's going to kick, punch, punch, punch. Try to let him recover. He's going to take off. He's going to do his missiles. I'm going to roll into him. I'm going to punch him twice, block, and then let him kick. So it's all about baiting him. This fight is all about baiting him into doing the attack that you want him to do. Once you get him to half HP, phase 2 is going to begin. He's going to shed his suit, his little super suit he's got on. And once he does that, he's going to go and dash around the map. Like, I actually got caught off guard here. He usually does this a few times. This time he kind of baited me and only did it twice and then went to me. I was not ready for that at all. So be careful if he does that to you. After he does that, though, you just want to knock him down. Get a little bit of range. Go into first-person view and block at the same time. So hold L1 and R1. Face him, and that's going to bait him to dash right into you. So there you go. I'm blocking, looking in first-person view, turning toward him, slashing him, as you can see. And when he does this move where he throws his shoulder into it, his whole arm, you don't have to block anything. You can attack him after he does that directly. See? I'm actually getting lucky here, and he's doing that very often. Now, he's going to do a flurry of attacks. He didn't do it there, but he will do it, I promise you. So get range, block, face him. He still didn't do it. I actually got really good RNG this time around. Do it again, block. So there he goes. He's going to do a flurry of attacks. You have to block all of these, and then you're free to counterattack. So again, get range, block, go into first-person view, face him, dodge all of these attacks by holding L1, and then kind of catch him off guard and slash him. Get range, block, first-person view, block all of this. Catch him off guard, slash, and then I think it's one more time we have to do this. Get range, block, go into first-person view. He's going to dash. Block these attacks, and then you have just defeated Solidus non-lethally and also beat Metal Gear Solid 2 on Extreme. So a huge congratulations to you. I will talk to you soon once you get to the score screen. And there you have it. Big boss rating. A massive congratulations if you were able to achieve this. This is not an easy game to get the highest rank on. So again, massive congrats to you all. I had a ton of fun making this guide. So if you followed it or if you just enjoyed watching it, please leave a like and please subscribe. A lot more guides like this are on the way. Thank you guys so much, as always, for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.